I want to give you a hypothetical. It's been 20 years since you last played your Game Boy, and for whatever reason, you take a shine to want to go and experience those games again. So you drop everything, you drive over to your parents' house, and you dig through their attic looking for any of the crap you had when you were a kid. You spend way too long looking through everything, and you're about to give up until finally you opened the one box that contained all of your old Game Boy games. But, sad day, you cannot find your Game Boy. Or worse, the screen has just been entirely obliterated like what happened to this poor bastard here. But you don't care. You still want to play these games, so you take to the world of eBay to find yourself a new Game Boy. But you have a problem. Once you get to eBay, you learn there are two varieties. And now comes the big question. Which one do you buy? Well, today, we're going to go over both of these and decide which one is actually better for playing all these old cartridges. This way, whenever this hypothetical situation happens to you, you don't have to question it. You can just be like, give me that one. Now, before we even get started, I do want to say that yes, there are better ways to play these games nowadays than by using the original hardware. If you have a Super Nintendo, you can use the Super Game Boy. There's the Analog Pocket if you can find one, and of course, the tried and true emulation. This video is for people like me who want to play the games on the original hardware. Which of the original Game Boys is going to do a better job of playing the games? So here we are now comparing the original fat Game Boy versus the follow-up, much smaller, much sleeker Game Boy Pocket. Now, as the name might imply, the Game Boy Pocket is much more designed to be pocketable, making it much easier to carry around. In doing so, they have also changed the battery usage of each one. The original Game Boy uses 4 AA batteries, whereas the Game Boy Pocket needs 2 AAAs. Now, I'm not actually going to use the batteries that each one use in my decision because in the age of modern day technology, you can get rechargeable AAAs and rechargeable AAs, making the need here kind of a moot point. Just note that if you're not going to go the rechargeable route, the original Game Boy requires 4 AAs and the Game Boy Pocket requires 2 AAAs. Now let's talk about the screens. I did some very scientific stuff and measured each of these screens. The original Game Boy here has a screen that is 1 7/8 inches wide by 1 3/4 inches tall, while the Game Boy Pocket here has a screen that is 1 15/16 inches across by 1 3/4 inches tall. Effectively, they are the same screen size, but the Pocket does have a slightly wider screen, although that doesn't really matter on games played on these systems. The biggest difference in the screens is the color that each one displays. The original Game Boy displays the colors it shows are essentially tinted green, whereas the Game Boy Pocket is definitely a black and white display, as I will show you now. Whichever color preference you prefer, the base of green and the different shades of it that make up the original Game Boy or the black and white of the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Pocket definitely has a sharper picture. I'm not sure how well that correlated in this video, but in person, the detail is much more visible on the Game Boy Pocket than it is on the original Game Boy. Another thing to note about the screen is that both of these do have a contrast dial on the side of them, which allows you to dial in the contrast of the screen for whatever lighting environment you are in, up until the screen completely goes away and until the screen is completely black. And you can do that on both systems. Another big thing to be aware of is how each of them sounds and the volume that each one can output. I'm using a Rode Lavalier Go microphone to record this, and I'm going to hold the Game Boy speakers an appropriate distance away from that microphone to simulate it being an appropriate play distance away from your ears. So we're going to start with the Game Boy Pocket. The Game Boy Pocket is at max volume, and it is roughly 1 foot away from the Lavalier Go microphone. Now we are going to swap over to the original Game Boy. Again, the Game Boy is on max volume and it is roughly 1 foot away from the microphone. All around, I do feel the original Game Boy has a better sounding speaker than the Game Boy Pocket, and the original Game Boy does get louder, at least as far as my ears can tell. Now let's talk about the size of the devices. As you can see, for the screens to be the same size, the Game Boy Pocket is significantly smaller than the original Game Boy, and that is kind of the point. It's designed to be a smaller, much more portable version of the original Game Boy. Now let's discuss how it actually feels to play them. Now, I'm not known to have very large hands. Like, I have described my hands in the past as fairly dainty. Let's show you a micro SD card next to my hand so you can get an idea. The Game Boy Pocket is exactly that. It's pocketable. It is small. It is meant to be small so it can slide into a pocket more easily. But because of that, I honestly think it is a touch too small. Like, it's great for the portability aspect of it, but actually having to hold it kind of like this and not really being able to get a good grip on it without putting my hands in some kind of cramped up space, to me is not ideal if you're wanting to just sit down and enjoy the games again. The Big Boy, on the other hand, is a lot heftier. Those AA batteries give it some extra weight, and it just feels better in the hand. Like, you actually can get a much better, a much more solid grip on it to play the games. And going back to play these games in 2022, I feel like that's something that you really need to consider. The comfortability of the console in the hands. Now, if button feel is more important to you, it actually flip-flops what I just said. Now, this might just be with the two that I have, but the original Game Boy, the buttons just feel mushy. Like, there's not that satisfying press like you want with these kinds of controls, whereas the Game Boy Pocket has a much better feeling D-pad and face buttons than the original Game Boy does. Again, that might just be issues with the specific models that I have in front of me, but that is something to consider. Now, ultimately to me, it all depends on what your situation is going to be. I think this one would definitely be better if you're planning to use it for its intended purpose and carry it out and about in the world. Whereas if you're just wanting to sit at home and play the games again on your couch, I do think this one's the better option. It just has a much better feel in the hand and isn't going to be as tiring as the Pocket is. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments which one you would buy if you were needing to get a new Game Boy. Are you gonna go the OG Fat Boy or are you gonna go the Slim Pocket? But that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, y'all.